everybody. So should we like watch the Nintendo Direct or just do Saya first? I can't decide. We're gonna do based on popular opinion. I have no idea how to do a poll. You probably have to do like fancy stuff to get a poll. But, you know, it's up to you guys. If we should watch the Nintendo Direct, we can watch the Nintendo Direct, and if we shouldn't, yeah. I feel like there's some serious latency here. Hang on. Oh crap, I accidentally set it to normal latency. Hang on. How do I fix that? Normal latency is like, oh, can I even fix that? Oh no. Oh well. I guess we're stuck with like the super high latency. Alright, we'll go Nintendo Direct first. Hang on. Latency. Nintendo Direct. How do I fix that? Hang on, this is way too big! Oh no. Okay, Nintendo. Oh well. I guess we're stuck with like the super high latency. Alright, we'll go Nintendo Direct that should have volume. Hi. I'm not what game is this? I feel like I've missed something. We'll do Saya right after. It shouldn't be very long in Nintendo Direct. Okay. Nintendo should only take a little bit of time. Oh no, am I echoing? Oh, I forgot that Firefox does that. Oh. What game is this? I feel like I've missed something. How do I fix that? Wait. We'll do Saya right after. If I like turn off the microphone. Oh no, am I echoing? Oh, I forgot that Firefox does that. Oh. How do I fix that? Wait, it's Saya. If I like turn off the microphone. Oh no, am I echoing? Oh, I forgot that Firefox does that. Oh.
Hello everyone, I'm Shinya Takahashi, and I'll be your guide for today's Nintendo Direct.
How do I fix that? Wait, it's Saya.
Today,
alright,
we'll be providing information on upcoming Nintendo
we'll turn off.
Switch games.
Do we have subtitles on a Nintendo Direct?
We'll also have a Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2.
No, there's no subtitles.
So please tune in for that as well.
Is it better with the echo?
What you just saw was Dragon Quest 1 2 HD 2D.
But if I mute the tab, you guys won't be able to know what what the people are saying.
Another character.
Neither will I, to be honest.
Do
we have subtitles on a Nintendo Direct?
We hope
Or is it still echoing? Oh wait, the BGM is on too. No, there's no
Okay,
There's so much stuff.
Is
Is it better with the echo? Is there still any echo?
Escape from dire straits.
But if I mute Oh, the tab, you guys
is
won't
the
be
echo
able
gone?
to know what the people are saying. Neither will I, to be honest. Do we have subtitles on a Nintendo Direct? Alright.
still echoing?
Oh, wait, the BGM is on
Darn
too.
it.
Hang on. Wait.
Is
there still any echo? Oh, wait, what is this game? This looks pretty good.
The latest entry in the I, the Somnium Files series is stirring.
Wait, what if
You are
I...
Konami Date, a special agent with a sophisticated AI called Ima embedded in his left eye. Your mission is to track down Iris, an internet idol who has been trapped in a mysterious escape game.
Wait, what is this game? This looks pretty
Conduct
good.
interviews to investigate Iris's whereabouts. Dive into a subject's dreams to reveal clues hidden deep within their psyche. And solve mind-bending puzzles in an explorable environment. Everything you learn will bring you one step closer to the truth.
Wait, what is this game? This looks pretty good.
Uncover what's hidden in reality and dreams to rescue Iris. No Sleep for Konami Date from I, the Somnium Files. Launches on the Nintendo Switch system July 25th. Unleash the supernatural. One step closer to the truth.
Wait, what is this game?
Uncover what's hidden in reality and dreams to rescue Iris. No Sleep for Konami Date from I, the Somnium Files. classic Atlas action RPG returns with remastered HD graphics and enhanced gameplay. Set in the capital city in the year Taisho 20, Raido Kuzunoha makes his living as an apprentice detective. But unbeknownst to others, he also fights alongside demons as a devil summoner. To protect the capital, Raido must investigate a series of supernatural cases. Fight in real-time battles alongside demons you summon.
Am I not mute anymore?
Work with your demons to strike an enemy's weak point.
Should we go back to
Follow
Saya,
up
or
with a
should we
powerful
persist
attack.
with the failing
Cooperation
Nintendo
is the key
Direct?
to victory. You can even turn opposing demons into allies.
I think my voice should be back.
Demons
I
can
failed
also
to
be
set the
useful
stream to
outside
low
of
latency, so now we're just at like quote-unquote
And their
normal
powers are
latency,
helpful
which
in
is like
finding
huge.
solutions
Alright.
during
5-second
investigation.
latency for everything. Really
Guide
sucks.
Raido through a
Should
series
we go
of
back to
strange
Saya, or
incidents
should we persist with the failing Nintendo
as he
Direct?
uncovers a
The echo.
conspiracy that will shake the capital to its core.
Yeah, he's like, but he's got his own game. Alright. Alright, let's go to Saya. Let's go to Saya. Yeah, we'll go to Saya. Wait, is there still echoing? I don't think that there's gonna be— what? A 30-second echo? Oh, how does that even happen? Okay, Saya. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Saya. There, Saya. Hang on, I'll make the chat smaller. Chat is too big. Okay, I'm glad we fixed that. Is it really not that fun? Really? Okay. There, and wrong tab. I don't know what's happening to the hair. The hair randomly gets better and worse. Sometimes you can see the hair and sometimes you can't. Wait. Check Twitter. Okay. Oh, is it internet connection? What is there to see on Twitter? I don't see anything. Wait, on my main account? Not. I don't see anything on Twitter. Okay, let's just do Saya. Saya is simple. I trust Saya. I don't trust other things. I hope this doesn't go to, like, another save file. I hope this just starts from the beginning. Yay! A wriggly mass of flesh. Is it too loud? So my internet connection's bad. You can't even tell what's happening. This is too scuffed. Oh man. Why was wait. Okay. Oh, I got it. I turned off the window capture noise. I turned off the window capture noise. Is it fixed now? Instead of muted? I should probably make it a little more visible. Okay. It should be playing now. It's loud. Okay. There. How is it? Is it really a wriggling mass of flesh if it's not super duper loud? I feel like this is still better than the debut. 3 such creatures sit around the table in front of me, slurping filthy sludge from their cups as they trade. Seriously? Okay. How is that? Can you hear Saya again? I haven't tested this stuff all before stream, you know? Oh, where's I up to? Okay, we'll just go on. Oh, you can't say that it'll never get worse than the debut. That'll make it worse than the debut. By listening carefully, I am able to grasp the gist of their conversation and respond when it's required of me. This is necessary to avoid arousing their suspicion. However, these creatures look, they're my friends, apparently. Only apparently. I wish that I could still deny it, but I gave up on that a long time ago. Night after night, I went to sleep praying for an end to this nightmare, only to wake up each morning to the same twisted hellscape as the day before. I know now that I have to blend in, that I have to act like one of them. Such has been my life these past 3 months, and so it'll remain until the day I die. This dude's utterly hopeless. Yeah. You know, have you seen that like Australian stingless beehive that literally looks like the flesh rooms? Judging by its tone, this one must be Koji, and the one next to him, squealing more than the others, is probably Omi, which means that the one next to me is Yo, though I can no longer see any trait of her once attractive features. Does that say trait? Oh, traits. I kind of forgot that didn't happen. I try my best to ignore the rotten stench of excrement that issues from her quivering flesh. I don't know what they're saying. Everything has changed. Oh wait, they do reveal what they're saying, like in just a second. Or almost everything. By some cruel trick of fate, my relationship to the world alone remains the same. As if an insane architect took the blueprints of my life and rebuilt it out of blood and gore. These monsters and I were part of the same college club. We studied together, ate together, and even went skiing together every winter break. I don't get why he doesn't just lock himself inside his house. Like, he has money. Why does he even bother to go outside and meet with his friends? I mean, you could easily get an excuse for being a hiki by just, like, saying that, oh no, I'm too traumatized from the accident. I can't go outside. I don't want to deal with life anymore. I'm just gonna stay inside. Now these are but painful memories of days that will never return. Literally me. This is the day in the life of Italia. Flesh walls. If only no one recognized me, I might have been able to disconnect myself from the world. Well, yeah, but he wouldn't have had to deal with his friends. He could disconnect himself from the world like he wants. It would have been comforting in comparison to believe that I had been abducted by aliens or that I had stumbled through a gateway to hell. But no, this is beyond a doubt the city where I was born and raised, the society that I was part of for 20 years. Save that I and I alone can no longer see it that way. He feels like edgy. The world as I knew it is gone. I have no place to go. He got into a car accident and now he sees the world as flesh monster. And now it's this. Now his life is this. Anyway, I can tell that whatever they're discussing is of no importance to me. I decide to keep quiet while pretending to listen, but just then. I think I'd be pretty mad if everyone around me looked like this thing. Too. Hey Fumidori, one of the flesh beasts says as it swivels its bloodshot eyes towards me. I try desperately to suppress my loathing and behave normally, but my hoarse voice ruins the attempt. A slimy hole near the top of the creature writhes, nauseating me as he vomits some semblance of words. That must be Koji's face, or what I would have seen as such 3 months ago. Unable to stomach the sight of it, I avert my eyes and give a neutral answer. Again, why does this guy even bother going outside? I don't know. This is why you guys can't get a girlfriend. You guys look like this. These were my closest companions. One of them had even wished to be more. How many nights have I spent in loneliness, lamenting the friends that no longer exist. Maybe, like, Suki may stream one. Yeah, real. Because he only starts seeing these things after... Well, he only starts, like, feeling these things and, like, everything else when he starts to, like, open his eyes. So I don't get, like, why he didn't just, like, right after that put a blindfold over his eyes and never look at anything ever again. In 3 months, my tears are dry, and now there's only loathing left in me, surrounded by hideous creatures that I can only assume are Koji, Omi, and Yo. I spend each day trying to act as I always have. If I fail at this, I'll surely be sent back to the hospital. No, he wouldn't! He can just stay inside. The feds don't want you to know this, but nobody's forcing you to go outside. Only this time, I'll be locked away forever. Like, this guy is, like, already delusional. He's not just crazy in, like, the, you know, crazy flesh monsters, he's hallucinating stuff sense. He's, like, crazy in, like, a paranoid kind of way. No matter what, I won't let that happen. Well, but he only hears it because he saw it. He says, like, later that... Okay, maybe I shouldn't be discussing the rest of it. That's it. I can't look at them or bear their screeching any longer. If he just blinded himself the minute that he saw this stuff, he'd be, like, perfectly fine. And he'd just be a normal, ordinary blind person. I jumped to my feet, desperate to escape. He chose to live in this hell. This is his own fault. A spray of stringy slime from the... What even is that? Around its voice box flies at me. I try to cover myself, but too late to keep the slime from splattering across my face like the yolk of a rotten egg. Yeah, no, he sees everything as flesh monsters. He really sees everything as flesh monsters. I'm about to lose it. I want to grab a chair, a desk, anything within reach, and use it to smash the life out of this creature, ending it all. And wouldn't that be a crazy thing to say if it was just an analogy for antisocial behavior? I barely suppressed the impulse. I mustn't let on that something's wrong. However they look to me, this is their world. I'm the outsider here. Like I said, today's my checkup. I gotta go. I shouldn't voice the voice lines. Struggling to put on a smile, I reach into my wallet, pull out the first bill I find, and put it on the table without even looking at it. I don't care about the change. I just need to get out of there now. He does go insane! He is insane! Are you saying that this guy isn't, like, totally insane? I mutter hastily and flee the cafeteria. I'm not crazy! See? He's crazy! Only a crazy person would say I'm not crazy.
ねえねえ、今度のスキーだけどさ、今年はどっかスケートも遊べるところにし。スケート
It's kind of the crazy difference from all of the, like, ear-splitting, ear-rapey sounds of the flesh monsters and the, like, normal stuff is quite something. They're just so cute, but Saya's cuter than any of these girls. I think I'd rather have Saya. It's kind of more fun when there's flesh monsters rather than people, though. The average day of the life of a sensitive young man. Can I be an honorary sensitive young man? She's pretty cute too. I like her voice. Too many voice lines. Although the conversation has involved only 3 people so far, there are, in fact, 2 couples at the cafeteria table. Yoa's boyfriend, though there's still some doubt over whether he could be called that, is beside her, as silent and expressionless as a statue. Oh. But I'm a lion. Lions are totally sensitive and young, eternally. Perhaps Koji sensed Yo's pain in his usual quiet and considerate way. His face is just looks... But I'm only 100 years old! The cause of Yo's distress, Fuminori, responds to Koji's sudden query with a vague, mumbled question of his own. I think I can't read. I might be kind of illiterate. Koji speaks gingerly, as though probing a tumor. A few months ago, he would not have hesitated to rebuke Fuminori for his attitude. Their long acquaintance had forged a strong and honest friendship. But now... Fuminori responds bluntly, his downcast eyes and sullen demeanor making it clear that he has no desire to break his silence. Even Koji, Fuminori's best friend, cannot communicate with him as before. What hope does Yo have of breaking through his shell? The scars left by the events of that late summer day are still deep all these months later. Each one of the four bears them, not only Fuminori. Why doesn't he just say that he's too traumatized to leave his house? As though that answer drained the last of his patience, Fuminori bolts out of his chair. And I also don't get why they don't just chill with him or abandon him or something. Even Koji can't keep his voice from rising as he tries to stop Fuminori from leaving. Like, why can't they just let him sit inside like that? And also just why I don't really get why he doesn't tell anyone, really. Fuminori reacts swiftly, throwing his hand over his face as though to shield himself from something terrifying. Maybe some spit flew inadvertently from Koji's mouth, but that happens sometimes. Fuminori's reaction is beyond the pale. I'd react like that too. If you flung spit in my face, I'm like, I'm flinging it away. Actually, that just gets spit everywhere. Well, but no, this is the world from everyone else's point of views, not as Fuminori's. To conceive a reality is to conceive at the same time, and as long as the mind in which that reality is represented, and therefore the concept of a material reality is absurd. It's so true! Wait. Yeah. Wait, does that make me 800 years old? Not 12? Fuminori snaps, making no attempt to relieve the discomfort of his friends. Even as he tosses money on the table to pay for his coffee, he acts like he's touching something filthy. I guess it's really such strange behavior. Fuminori stalks out of the cafeteria, almost as if he's running away. Cloaked in heavy silence, the remaining three lowered their gaze to the table, where the abandoned 10,000 yen bill. Imagine spending $100 on a coffee. Sways forlornly. Fuminori's coffee is untouched. He's just losing money. Unprofitable. Yeah, this guy's right. It could have happened to anyone. A tractor trailer? That's too hard to say. Flipped over on a highway, crushing the Sakisaka family into twisted scrap. They said it had been difficult to tell the bodies of Fuminori's parents apart. For a while, it had looked as if there was no hope for Fuminori either. It was nothing short of a miracle that he was able to leave the hospital and return to a normal life. She's cute. While Koji's kindness makes her happy, Yo also knows that she mustn't take advantage of it. Fuminori is the victim, just as Koji said. He's the one who deserves the most sympathy. Yo's feelings for Fuminori are her problem and no one else's. She doesn't blame Fuminori for not giving her an answer after she worked up the courage to ask him out. In fact, he's such a fake cell man. In fact, she thinks even more fondly of him for taking the time to consider than she would have had he treated their relationship casually. Apparently, the fact that Fuminori did not reject her was enough to make them a couple in Koji and Omi's eyes. They've had plenty of fun at Yo and Fuminori's expense since. The truth of it, though, is that he still hasn't given her an answer. After revealing her feelings to him, Yo didn't see Fuminori again until a week later. And then she could only stare at his broken body through the window of the ICU. And when he was finally released, after 50 days that seemed like an eternity, he was somehow different. She's starting to doubt that he even remembers what she confessed to him before the accident. Now winter is coming, and her feelings hang forgotten in the cold, lonely air. I like her. She's cute. Ryoko has never had a more troublesome patient. His voice is hard and flat. His words tossed carelessly into the air. It's like he's speaking to himself in an empty room. I'm speaking to myself in an empty room. Except I'm speaking to all of you. But there's nobody else in the room. Ryoko is a surgeon, not a psychiatrist, but even she can sense the thickness of the wall he's erected between himself and the world. While Sakisaka appears to be looking at Ryoko, his gaze is actually aimed a fraction down and to the side. Yeah, Saya's cuter, but she kind of gives like older Saya vibes, you know? He's only superficially engaged in the conversation, when in truth, it does not interest him in the slightest. Perfect rejection. I hope nobody else is in the room. That would be creepy. Realizing that she can't interview him like this, Ryoko sighs and sets her chart aside. The fascism in the chat. Treatment of subdural hematoma through the use of micro-machines, a procedure available in Japan exclusively here at T University, had been the only way to save Sakisaka Fuminori from a cerebral contusion that should have been fatal. Not in the room. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody in the room. I hope. Oh, I hope there's nobody in the room. I mean, I'm talking directly into Fumo. Does that count as someone? Sakisaka Fuminori's lips twist slightly in what might be a bitter or mocking smile, but it's gone before Ryoko can discern its meaning. I don't think she'd be able to discern that he's seeing flesh monsters everywhere, regardless of how long she stared at his face. See, why doesn't he just report his thing? Everyone else does. Hence these weekly checkups, if only he would take them a little more seriously. Then again, I suppose the other patients probably aren't seeing flesh monsters. Well, he's not telling people because he thinks that they'll use them as like a lab rat. And my walls are not in my room. They're like outside of my room. The walls are what separates my room from outside. There was nothing, not the slightest hint of abnormal activity. For a procedure with such a low rate of success, the results have been nothing but short of miraculous. However, something still bothers Ryoko. She can't shake the feeling that he's hiding something beneath his guarded exterior, some terrible weight on his soul, perhaps. I think he's being rather obvious about it. But if it's an inorganic problem, then there's nothing she can do as long as he refuses to explain it. Without any problems? I don't know about that. Everyone in his life seems pretty mad at him. Also, does he want to live the rest of his life like this? I seriously don't get why he doesn't just lock himself inside with Saya. I want to see Saya already! Unable to answer, Ryoko hardens the mask of her smile. As before, the patient is inquiring about someone who he has no business knowing. Oh, I'm tripping over my words so much now. Ryoko is used to patients treating her with hostility. Some degree of paranoia is natural when dealing with a person whose mistakes could kill you. In Sakisaka, however, she doesn't see the anxiety that other patients exhibit. His demeanor is perfectly calm, almost like a detective questioning a subject. She already finished the surgery on him, though, and it was successful. He owes her his life. Also, like, what a prodigy she must be. I wonder what it takes to get to that kind of position at that age. It probably takes being like an anime character. Ryoko answers smoothly, her earlier hesitation gone. Having decided at the outset to lie, she has no trouble doing so with a straight face. I kinda wanna make a VN someday, but like I can't draw, and commissioning people is expensive. I also can't write, and I also can't code, because I can't really do anything. But you know what I can do? I can talk on stream, and that's good enough, probably. I mean, have you seen me? I'm kind of illiterate. Ryoko realizes that her answer might have been a little too quick. She should have acted more surprised. Yeah, the art is too hard. Good afternoon. A relative? Ryoko considers this with a frown. Ryoko replies, remembering that she just claimed to have no contact with the man. That's such a suspicious thing to say. I can't like make a VN that isn't just staring at anime girls all day long. That would be cruel. That would be torturous. Ryoko falls silent, knowing that this isn't a topic she can brush away with a smile. Sakisaka seems to have finally grasped her mood. However, as a strangely stiff tone sounds a little. I miss that sound so bad. Oh, Anchovy dating sim. You know, I saw this garage kit of Anchovy that was just so cute, and it pains me that that'll probably never be sold again, and I'll never be able to get it. But it was so cute. Although she makes it sound like the most obvious thing in the world, the suggestion is actually a gamble. If Olgai's disappearance becomes a police matter, then the university will be investigated. Everyone who is involved in the incident will be at a risk of exposure, and of course that includes Ryoko herself. Why'd that be bad, though? She's acting real suspicious. I hate drawing. I draw occasionally, and I've been doing it for years, but I can't bring myself to do it like every day, all day, to become like good at it. I also can't bring myself to to buy a drawing tablet, because I'm just like, oh, I could just buy another fumo. Isn't that better? She knows, however, that Sakisaka is unlikely to go to the police. First of all, his excuse is obviously a lie. They already made sure that Olgai had no relatives who might come looking for them, which is why they could bury the truth of what happened. Yeah, true. It's, but it's like just a doujin game, though. You can do anything like in a doujin game. But then, how did Sakisaka, a mere patient, learn about Olgai? I wonder what happened to him. Expecting resistance, Ryoko is surprised when Sakisaka backs down. She's still worried about his condition, and the mysterious link between him and Olgai is only making her more uneasy. But as long as he doesn't open up to her, there's nothing she can do. About what? Real suspicious. After a brief pause, Ryoko writes progress good on Sakisaka's chart for today. Before she can finish, she's gone. Saya! We'll see Saya soon, I think. I hope. I want to see Saya. It looks like someone sprayed the walls with pig guts from the ceiling to the floor. What color should the walls of a hospital be? White, of course. And to the creatures of rotten flesh shambling around me, I'm sure this hallway looks just as white as it should. Can you really blame him for acting like this, though? I know, intellectually, that the walls are white. I know that the flesh beasts are really human. I'm the one with the problem, and it's because I've accepted this that I'm able to lead something approaching a normal life. Yeah, right. He should just stop trying to live a normal life. But, I mean, you'll not get prosecuted if it's a doujin, though. And so I can just make a doujin circle and make doujins. Even if my university's medical department is nowhere near as good as T University's, I'm still a medical student specializing in neurology. I have a basic idea of what's happened to me, though it's hard to believe. This isn't a pathological condition. It's probably some form of agnosia, unlike anything that's ever been studied before. The flesh beast, called Tombo Ryoko, said that other patients had developed neurological... This doesn't sound quite like that. Bye. What was I gonna say? I need to remember it. So I guess I'm just another failure. It makes me want to laugh in that know-it-all doctor's face. That said, I don't blame the doctors who operated on me. After all, I do owe them my life. I know as well as anyone how low the chance of success was, and that I had no other hope of survival. But it wouldn't be fun if Saya looked like a moving white hospital wall. I feel like Fuminori would still be into Saya if she was just, like a white wall thing. The outside looks so cursed. I was unlucky. That's all there is to it. The point is that my condition isn't treatable. I feel like it would be, though. Just like someone adapting to a hearing aid or wheelchair. I have no choice but to adapt to this nauseating scenery. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, antipsychotic medication could probably help with 90% of this dude's symptoms. And as a neurology student, he really should be able to conjure some up. Of course it's hard. It wasn't easy to resign myself to this fate. But now there's more than just despair. Yeah, because then he'd just be with Saya all day. He wouldn't have to deal with the flesh monsters outside. I mean, there'd still be, like, flesh walls, but no flesh monsters is, like, a bonus. Even for me, there's a glimmer of hope. Keeping my eyes on my feet, I hurry home. Oh, Saya soon. I live in a quiet suburban neighborhood in a house that's much too large for me alone. My parents even unluckier than I was. Really? This guy sounds like a fate worse than death. Died in an accident 3 months ago. I couldn't even go to the funeral for being in intensive care. I had to sell my father's business, but at least that left me with the house and enough money to live on for a while. Of course, I'm sad, but the accident probably took more from me than my parents. In fact, being on my own has probably saved me. Because, yeah, he didn't, like, oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. If they were still alive, my parents would have never allowed me to live with some strange girl. Oh, she's so cute! As I open the door, a bright voice greets me from the kitchen. The voice is beautiful and clear as a bell, human. Its sweet sound washes the day's cacophony from my memory. Ah! Even the patter of feet coming down the hallway is music to my ears. Nowhere else in the city can I hear such footsteps. Only in this house with Saya am I so privileged. Why does he leave his house? Why can't he just, like, be with Saya forever? I don't get it. The concrete reality of the individual is not to be found in his existence in space and time as a natural phenomenon, an object of sense, but rather in his spiritual existence as a self-conscious being. Yeah, her voice is so cute. Oh, so cute. And her smile, the inquisitive tilt of her head, is everything that I have lost. I need a Saya. Since my accident, this girl is the only person I've met. Perhaps the only person in the entire world who does not trigger my cognitive disorder. About that. And true, her skin seems too white, and the color of her eyes and hair is probably different in reality. But even so, her form is undeniably human. And it's not just her appearance and her voice, either. As I bend down to take off my shoes, Saya wraps her arms around my neck and pulls me gently into her chest. Okay. Would you take, like, his world if you got a Saya? Or would you rather just be, like, a normie wage slave till the end of time? Her skin feels truly human, not cold or slimy. and from her hair wafts sweet feminine fragrance. In all the world, only Saya is pleasing to my five senses. And what's more, she smiles at me, embraces me. She knows that she's my salvation, and for some reason she's happy that I need her. He exists as a particular person, but not as one among others. His existence is unique and therefore infinite and universal. So the real individual is not opposed to the universal. He's the universal, and the concrete universal is just the individual himself as an actual conscious, determinate, unique being. Oh yeah, so true. Mindless flesh monsters everywhere. Yes, I'm your Saya. I'll be there for you. If I had not met Saya, if I had been all alone in this twisted, filth-ridden world, I would no doubt have succumbed to the madness. It's no exaggeration to say that Saya alone is keeping me alive. You don't want a Saya, but she's so cute.
今日は一日どうしたの？
今の模様替えもう半分ぐらい塗り終わったよ。
So cute.
そうか。楽し
もうちょっと時間かかりそうなの。待っててくれる？
I love her so much, bros.
いいよ。じゃあ僕は今の続きをやってる。
After I see the humming Saya off to the kitchen, I step into the living room. I realized one day that if the natural colors of the world were sickening, all I had to do was paint over them with colors that seemed pleasant. Is she really that bad, though? I think Saya's a good girl. I went to the hardware store and bought every color of paint I could find, and then Saya and I tried different combinations until we found one that worked. She may be an eldritch horror, but she's a good girl. That's what you get for watching the Nintendo Direct. This is bound to suck. After painting the bedroom from ceiling to floor, I was finally able to get my first good night's sleep since the accident. Saya doesn't need fixing. She's perfect as she is. When we first started on the living room, Saya, unsure of what to do with the curtains, just painted carefully around the windows. Without a moment's hesitation, I tore the curtains down and painted over the glass itself. Exactly, if cute is not bad, bad things can't be cute. There'll never be anything out there that I want to see, and as long as we keep the storm shutters closed, the neighbors probably won't think anything of it.
ご飯できたよ。
Oh, so
こっちで食べよ
cute!
う。持ってきてくれるか。
As she enters the living room with a tray of food, Saya sniffs the air. You're the one that needs a psychiatrist if cute doesn't make you happy.
ペンキの匂い。平気？
Oh, she's so cute. Now that she mentions it, I suppose the smell of paint thinner must be building up in this closed room. It doesn't really bother me though. There are far worse smells outside.
さやは嫌いかい？
平気。
Yeah, so true. She can fix me. Saya sets the food on the table. Unfortunately, neither its color nor smell is at all appetizing. Not that food anywhere is any different. The fact that cute girl made food is very appetizing, even if it's like pig guts.
いただきます。
As has become routine, I steel myself and methodically transport the food into my mouth. The taste is as gut-wrenching as I expected, but it's not Saya's fault. I'm sure she made it exactly like the cooking show said. It's just that my taste buds can't accept it.
美味しくない。
Maybe all the paint thinner is why it's crazy.
まあね。
Lying won't make Saya happy. She knows about my condition.
気にしないで。明日はまた別のものを作ってあげるから。
She's so
ま
cute.
あいつもせっかく作ってくれ。
いいのよ。
I need
こう
one.
やっていろいろ試していけば、いつかみのりでも美味しく食べられるメニューが見つかるかもしれないじゃない。
In my current state, eating is nothing more than an unwelcome duty. As much as I hate it, I need food to survive. But, like, because Saya's cute, could cute girl do anything wrong? It's never the cute girl's fault. If I stay alive, then perhaps one day, as Saya says, I'll be able to taste something delicious again. I met Saya, didn't I?
さやは食べないの？
私はもう済ましたから。
See, See, she's such an earnest, good girl. Saya's good. In all the time we've been together, Saya has never once eaten with me. I don't know why she refuses to do so. It makes me a little sad. Still, I'm not about to push the issue. Not when she's putting up with all the problems I have. Doker Olga is Saya's father and her only living relative. Saya has asked me to unravel the mystery of his disappearance. This is just a classic VN plot. It feels so VN, like, so basic. And yet, well done. I expected Saya to be a little more disappointed. She gives a little shake of her head and then smiles at me once again. That makes sense. That suits Kohaku and Saya. They're both best girls, so it makes sense. I thank her for the meal and set my chopsticks down next to the perfectly clean plate. As wretched as the taste is, thinking of the care that Saya put into it gave me the strength to finish every bite. She's so cute. Ever since Saya moved in, it's been like having my own wife. Child wife! Saya, why are you so good to me? Oh, I want a Saya. Is this truly what you want? What am I that you can give yourself to me, body and soul? Is this merely sympathy? Do you pity me, the exile from society? Is that enough for you to surrender yourself to such mad desire? Are you so wanton? Saya is here. She is with me now. Only in this moment is her existence certain. Only when I'm joined with her can I believe. I feel like this was originally an H scene. It's gotta be. No matter what cruel fate might await me, Saya, there is nothing more I can fear than losing you. Oh, so cute. I realize that my cheeks are wet with tears. I wrap my arms tighter around her, praying that our bodies will melt together and never again be apart. I hope it never shows anything objectionable for YouTube. I don't think it will. I'm playing like the Steam version. That should be heavily censored, but... kind of curious about the original version, but... I mean, it's obvious why Saya loves him, but I don't think he gets that. The sorrow in her voice resonates with my own. There's a deep loneliness in her eyes, a loneliness from which now springs boundless affection. So true. Nightmare. This has got to be a love hotel with like the pig guts everywhere in Japan. No matter what horrors this world unleashes upon me, all I ever need is Saya. Saya is some kind of monster. I guess we'll find out soon. Yo is determined to talk to him today. Any girl but Saya sucks because I just wanted Saya. Nothing will happen as long as she hesitates. It'll only prolong her suffering. The time has come to show courage once again. Yeah, Saya is a good girl. Yo's 4th period on Thursdays is biology. This is her one chance to see Fuminori. As a required course with many students, the lecture is held in a large hall that can seat well over 200, but since the room is usually only half full, it's really difficult for Yo to find the seat that she wants. Yo prefers to sit near the center, where it's easiest to hear the professor. Most of the students congregate in this area for the same reason. I would not. I'd be sitting like with Fuminori in the back. Fuminori usually sits beside her, although, given the ambiguous state of their relationship, she knows better than to take this for granted. Still, she tries to save a seat whenever possible. The classroom isn't crowded today, so Yo is able to set her bag on the seat next to her without inconveniencing anyone. Well, I miss Saya already. But when the professor arrives at the usual time to start class, there's no sign of Fuminori. I don't want to see humans. I want to see Flesh Monster and Flesh Monster Wally. After waiting for about 10 minutes, Yo scans the room. Fuminori is still there, sitting alone in the back corner. I think... Did he miss Yo when he came in? No, he couldn't have. And besides, no serious student would willingly sit so far away from the front. She's not as cute as Saya! Feeling miserable, Yo slides her bag back over herself. I can't read. Fuminori is out the door the moment class ends. Yo barely manages to catch up with him before he disappears down the hallway. Fuminori jerks at the sound of his name. You would think she just screamed at him. Haha, the look of hatred in his eyes. She can't compete with Saya. Now that they're face to face, Yo is painfully aware of how much weight Fuminori has lost. His sunken eyes and protruding cheekbones are a far cry from the features familiar to her. She wonders whether he's under a lot of stress, or perhaps not getting enough nutrition. Maybe it's both. I wonder if he has to eat human flesh for nutrition, or whether that's just because like he's not eating enough because the food tastes awful. He definitely looks more tense than he should, afraid even, though what she can't imagine. His eyes move restlessly from point to point. This is why you don't go outside. You might see a flesh monster. Maybe one that plays basketball. His eyes move restlessly from point to point, and he refuses to look Yo in the eye. It hurts to see Fuminori this way. What could have changed him so? We might not even get monetized if we get to the monetization requirements just because of the stuff I'm saying. Today, she reminds herself, rekindling the flame of courage in her heart. She has a cute voice too, but it's not as cute as Saya. I mean, she's cute too. She's just... Nope, she can't compete with Saya. The courtyard is empty and silent. No one is willing to sit and chat in the cold November air. Yo almost blurts the question, but manages to keep her composure. Oh, I went out like a few days ago. I went outside for like a walk at night because like Kikis can't go out during the day. That would be so strange. And I got surrounded by a bunch of kangaroos, so I got stuck at a bus stop for a few hours. He smiles like it's nothing, but even that seems forced. He's even standing precisely one pace further away from her than he used to. Yo manages to keep from flinching at the harshness of his tone. You know, I think even her flesh monster sounds pretty cute, even when she's got the flesh monster voice. Rather than answer, Fuminori grinds his toe into the dead grass at his feet, fearing that her determination might flag. Yo lets the words come out as they may. Honestly, if a flesh monster was going, Oh, talk to me. Oh, talk to me. Be my friend. I can help you. I would be pretty horrified too. They were everywhere. I couldn't.
どうしようもないものを無理し今の咲坂さんは
そうかい。
They're outside though. As we speak, they're outside, surrounding me. Fuminori mutters through clenched teeth, no longer trying to deny it or change the topic. This is an even clearer signal of rejection than his prior evasiveness. But Yola's determination is strong. Today, at least, she won't back down.
友達ってこんな時のためにいると思うんです。
I think I prefer Saya.
本当に残念だったと思います。
But like, she even sounds cute as a flesh monster.
咲坂さんは一人ぼっちじゃありません。
If this flesh monster talked to me, I probably wouldn't care that much.
それに
But still, Saya's better.
私がいます。
Yola can no longer stop the words pouring from her lips. She fears that if she doesn't unleash her feelings now, they'll be lost forever. But the NSFW scenes won't come up! I'm playing the safe for work version. It's censored. It's censored. It's Saya, but like it's censored. I think. Yeah, it's the Steam version. I'm not playing the original version on Steam. On stream, that would be such a bad idea. She promised herself that she wouldn't back down, but Fuminori's expression is terrible enough to shatter her resolve. But the look in his eyes is not anger or any other warm-blooded emotion. It's hate. Murderously cold hate.
そういえば君には一つ返事しなきゃいけない要件があったね。僕は君のことをとりわけ特別に意識したことなんてなかった。
Yeah, it's such a great idea to play Arrogance on stream on YouTube.
僕が君のことどう思ってるのか。正直な気持ちが自分でも
I'd imagine you'd get away with it on Twitch if they weren't anime girls.
でもね、今ではもうはっきりと答えが出てる。筑波さん、僕はあんたのことが大嫌いだ。顔も見たくない。
Yola tells herself, but too late to stop the tears from pouring from her
もう
eyes.
二度と会いたくないっていうのは無理だね。だからせめて今後は僕に声をかけないでくれないか。
But her voice is cute even as a flesh monster. I don't get it. This is Stone Cold True Cell. While he has this lolly wife, he's true to his lolly wife. You gotta be true to her. Yeah, you have to pay extra for the uncensored version, but I think the Steam version is actually cheaper than the normal version. So you can uncensor it with a patch that you have to pay for. But the version is just cheaper in the first place.
自分一人でのぼせてる分には勝手だけどさ。他人を巻き込むなって言うんだ。
That's all Yola can take, even after shedding tears in front of him. She absolutely refuses to let him hear her cry. Any disgrace would be preferable to breaking down here. So she runs, fleeing breathlessly from the courtyard with Fuminori's cold smile at her back. I keep messing up my hair toggles. I don't know why my twin tails are even gone. Omi was the first to catch sight of Yola and Fuminori leaving for the courtyard. Reluctant to interrupt them, but still unwilling to leave them alone, she and Koji ended up watching the whole thing from the shadows. Throughout the exchange, Omi was clearly itching to jump out and punch Fuminori in the face. Knowing her temper, Koji kept firm hold of her arm until the end. If he hadn't, she might very well have done it. Fuminori leaves after Yola, his every step seeming to take an act of willpower. Yeah, my twin tails are gone. I can probably turn them on. Should I turn my twin tails on or on? Or leave them off? Is short hair Italia nice? Fuminori leaves after Yol, his every step seeming to take an act of willpower. Koji sighs heavily into the once more... I can't read. But the bitter taste in his mouth will not go away. Even Koji cannot forgive Fuminori's treatment of Yol. However, the first thing he feels is confusion, not anger. Koji has known Fuminori since long before college. Fuminori was never this cruel before. Well, no kidding! There's no question now that the accident changed him. Short hair Italia is nice once in a while too. I like being able to change my hairstyle. It's nice. Yo and Omi are best friends, just like Koji and Fuminori. In fact, it was the relationship between Koji and Omi that brought the other two together. Omi's anger is only natural. I'm going to talk to him alone. You don't have to come. Accents and voice. I get the vibe that my brain doesn't work. Ending the conversation before Omi's mood gets any worse, Koji heads off to find Yol. This VO doesn't have enough cyan. I feel awful, miserable, but also refreshed. I finally crossed the line. I knew it would come crashing down like this sooner or later. Having become unable to feel anything but disgust for other people, there was no way I could hope to maintain the relationships I'd had before the accident. Today's incident— Hey! No leaving! No sleeping! Not allowed to sleep! Today's incident will definitely get back to Koji and Omi, and everyone will be convinced I've had a major change of character. Honestly, I don't care anymore. At least I probably won't be committed for this. I just need to avoid acting any stranger than I already have. If this puts a rift between me and the others, good. The thought of all the stress I'll avoid brings a smile to my lips. I'm fed up with them sticking their noses into my life. It's like they don't care that they make my gut turn just by being near me. YouTube's... I don't get what's being censored. What kind of things are being, censored from you guys? I've been terrified of them until now, but today, I struck fear into one of them. In that sense, it's something of a relief, but I'm not entirely without remorse for what happened. The person I just demolished with the verbal equivalent of a nuclear bomb used to be my friend Yol. Even if my senses don't believe it, my mind accepts the theory. I didn't have any particular grudge against Yol herself, and I didn't want to hurt her. In retrospect, perhaps I should have just ignored her outright. Oh, girl. Wait. I hope I won't get in trouble for putting gore on YouTube. In retrospect, perhaps I should have just ignored her outright. Yol was an attractive girl. I certainly didn't think badly of her. To be honest though, I was annoyed when Koji and Omi tried to stick us together. It felt like they were using us as entertainment, and Yol seemed totally oblivious to the fact that she was dancing to their tune. Her cluelessness was irritating. Still, I knew that none of them meant any harm. Back then, I didn't have any reason to hurt others just to get my way. If having a casual relationship with Yol would keep our circle of friends together, I was willing to make that compromise. Oh, he hated her from the start. Poor Yol. Now, however, there is no room in my heart for such forbearance. If merely talking to someone is an ordeal, then how can I be expected to show them kindness? These ruminations have left me exhausted. I want to turn to Saya as soon as possible. This guy's totally a school shooter vibe. But thinking about the packed trains and crowded downtown streets between here and home saps my spirit. Catching sight of a nearby bench, I sit down and close my eyes to the horrors of the world. I can't do anything about the stink or the noise, but at least I can calm my nerves enough to rest. When I regained consciousness in the T University hospital ward, the world was as dark as it is now. I had not yet recovered my sight, even though my eyes and optical nerves were undamaged. It must have been an after effect of the accident. Blindness was a shock, but now I know that my suffering then was nothing. After all, my senses of hearing, touch, taste, and smell were all fine at the time. Oh, but like, it's, to be honest, seeing the world as flesh monsters is pretty bad. I mean, I think I'd be pretty crazy too if I had to deal with seeing flesh monsters everywhere. But he really should have just blinded himself after he saw something quickly. He should have just, like, blinded himself immediately. The one small mercy was that I was able to come to terms with the accident and my neurosurgery while still blind. I panicked when I first saw the nightmarish hospital and the blood-curdling shapes of the doctors and nurses, but I soon guessed the cause. It chills me to think, see, why didn't he just blind himself there and then? It chills me to think of what might have happened if I had recovered my consciousness and sight. Suddenly awakening in what can only be described as hell, I would have no doubt lost my mind instantly. Well, he wouldn't be able to see Saya, but he'd also be like normal. And he wouldn't have to deal with the flesh monsters, so really it's his own fault for seeing the flesh monsters and he can't blame anyone else. Soon my disorder spread to the senses of touch, taste, and smell. As it turns out, sight exerts tremendous influence over the other four. See, he could have just blinded himself. The taste of my food, the feel of my bedsheets, the fragrance of my get-well flowers, all became as unbearably foul as my eyes said they would be. He doesn't deserve Saya. Saya is too good for him. Eventually, when even the doctor's voices became unrecognizable as human, I decided to kill myself. I didn't believe for a second that I could live in this new world. At least, not until I met Saya. Am I allowed to say kill myself on stream? One night, while thinking of a painless... See? That's especially bad. He isn't even gonna kill himself. He wants to die, but he doesn't actually want to die. He's just such a coward, man. No, everything wouldn't taste like flesh and hear everyone as monsters because that's only because his sight exerted influence over his other senses. It's an illusion. The issue is with the sight. Seppuku. One night, while thinking of a painless way to die, I found myself succumbing to sleep. Drifting between the nightmares in my dreams and the nightmare of reality, I didn't notice her open the room. I guess I gotta really avoid it, like, angering anyone. The next thing I knew, there was a face staring down at me from next to my bed. The face was not covered in pus or slime or earthworm-like feelers. It had smooth, white cheeks, round eyes, a lovely little nose. All things I had expected to never see again. The face was that of a girl, undeniably human, and positively glowing with beauty. I feel like we see a train in here. I sighed in admiration, savoring the first peace and joy since regaining my sight. Oh, the walls look so gross in contrast to Saya. She had not expected such a reaction, apparently. Looking at the clock, I saw that it was exactly 3 in the morning. No time for a young girl to be alone in the hospital. Perhaps she expected me to mistake her for a ghost. But I wouldn't have cared if she had been a ghost. Either way, she was a godsend. Oh, she's so cute. I assumed that she was the daughter of a late shift doctor or another patient. It was unusual, but not unthinkable for such a girl to be wandering around the hospital. I cried, desperate to keep her from leaving. It was only after she turned around that I realized I hadn't thought of what to say next. So cute. Her beautiful eyes drew me in, healing my soul to its core. Through the white haze clouding my mind, I struggled to form a coherent sentence. To have grasped the truth, the mind is a reality in which self-realization and that it realizes itself as self-consciousness is not enough in of itself to free us from the illusion of naturalism. Where are you getting these quotes from? For spiritual reality seems itself to be in continual rebellion against such definition, arresting and fixing itself as a reality and object of thought. Saya looked confused at first, but then she smiled like she'd just found a new toy. Her smile was brighter than my memories of the sun. Ever so carefully, as though catching snowflakes, I placed my palm against hers. I could feel her human warmth and the softness of her delicate fingers. She was there, just beyond the palm of my hand. Thinking back on the joyful tears I shed then, I know this was the moment I was saved from my fate. There's still, like, flesh walls!
他の人じゃダメなんだ。僕事故に遭って、その後遺症らしいんだけど。
あなたって面白い。明日の夜もまた来ていい？
あ、そりゃもう。
大丈夫よ。夜は私のものだから。
I don't want to interrupt Saya. Saya is cuter than me, so I can't interrupt her. Yeah, I don't think I'd unalive myself if I had a Saya. But then this is pretty disgusting and horrifying. Really, the flesh monsters are probably the worst part, so you just need a Saya. When you think about it though, everyone's a flesh monster. And so our rendezvous began. Saya came to my room every night at 3 a.m., skillfully taking advantage of the duty nurse's shift change. I was astonished to learn that she was living inside the hospital.
これだけ広いと隠れる場所には事欠かないから。
She had been living in the suburbs with her father, she told me, until one day he'd suddenly stopped coming home. Yeah, but like, are you just looking through the book randomly and sending things in the chat? I really love Genesis and Structure of Society, by the way. I think it's his best book. After she had tired of waiting, Saya had decided one night to sneak into the hospital where he'd worked, and there she'd lived for over 2 months, searching for his whereabouts all the while. Saya is better than just a normal girl, though. Saya is an especially pretty little girl. Saya's tiny child. It's really funny that he'd, like, basically marry someone who he first asks, don't you have to go to school? Like, dude!
勉強は全部パパに教えてもらったから。さやはとっても頭がいいんだよ。
She was a strange girl. On one hand, she looked and acted like a child. On the other, she was remarkably self-reliant, and at times exhibited a sharp intelligence and deep knowledge that many may have found unsettling. Yeah, he bathes with Saya. He gets Saya to bathe him. I didn't care. Saya was the only other human in a world gone mad. Our world's gone mad, too. Her existence meant far more to me than the standards of society. She's cuter in the CGs, though. There's something about her eye here that kind of bothers me. But in its own way, it's really cute.
入院してる患者さんたちのうち、ちょっと精神的に参ってそうな人を事前にチェックしておいてね。時々部屋に真夜中に忍び込んで脅かしたりするの。その人が大騒ぎしても、そういう患者さんの言うことはみんな真に受けたりしないから。結局は悪い夢ってことで片付けられちゃうし。
I love her chat. Her confession reminded me that the hospital was famous for its ghost stories. Who could have imagined that there was actually a real girl impishly roaming these hallways?
僕も最初はそのつもりで。
ごめんね。怒った？
She's cute and funny. While her pranks were hardly praiseworthy, I couldn't bring myself to scold her for the very thing that had brought us together.
その代わり、夜は僕の話し相手になってくれないか。
さやもその方が楽しい。
This image is so disturbing. It looks like all his guts are spilling out. With extreme care, I was able to conceal my sensory disorder. It was glaringly obvious that the doctors had no way to cure me, and the fact that I had undergone a still experimental medical procedure made me even more cautious. Also, how's he, like, gonna expect people to, like, make a cure? People make cures when there are patients to look at. Nobody's gonna come up with a cure for fixing the experimental surgery if people who have undergone the experimental surgery aren't helping them. As a medical student, it was easy for me to imagine how such doctors would react if they discovered that I was exhibiting such an unusual side effect. I was not about to become a guinea pig, a mere specimen to be examined with clinical detachment. And so I hid my discomfort and loathing behind a mask of normalcy, convincing the doctors that any signs of stress were merely a result of hospital. What about the parents dying? What about the accident? What about all the trauma? Is he not allowed to be stressed out? It's so confusing. Saya was my support. Looking forward to her nightly visits gave me the strength to endure my daily torture. Hope can make an enormous difference in a patient's progress. With the aid of my secret nurse, I recovered at a pace that left the doctor stunned. Yeah, same. I'd rather be a guinea pig than flesh. But at least he's got a Saya. I mean... On the last night before my release, I summoned my courage and asked her.
これからもずっとこの病院に居続けるのかい？
結局パパの手がかりはなかったけど、もう他にいるところもないし、バレそうになるまではいいかなって。
I need one, Asaya. In other words, there was nothing keeping her there.
よかったら僕の家に来ないか？
The question took all the courage I had.
家族はもういないから。
The cute surprise face. She's so
人目を忍ぶような
cute.
必要もないし、住み心地もそんなに悪くないんじゃないかと。
ずっとふみのりと一緒に暮らすの？
君の父さんのことは代わりに僕が探してあげる。約束するよ。必ず居場所を見つけてみせる。
Yeah, but I mean, Saya's not really gross. Saya is a cute thing. We always see Saya as a cute thing. Do you have any proof that Saya is not cute?
難しいと思うよ、それ。
Plus, I mean, Saya's actions are very cute. She's very cute.
多分パパ、何か悪いことをして、この病院に来たんだと思う。
My family's dead. Wanna be my child bride.
だから警察とかは困るの。なるべくこっそりと探さなきゃいけないし。
頑張るよ。どんなことだってやる。僕は。
Unable to control myself, I finally spoke the truth.
離れたくないんだ。
At first, she looked bewildered, but after a few moments of silence, she said,
少しだけ考えさせて。
"Oh, her face is so cute." That night, she left my room earlier than usual. Exactly! We perceive Saya as cute, so therefore she is cute. It's not any deeper than that. On the day of my release, I managed to smile as I accepted the hideous, foul-smelling celebratory bouquet. Exactly! If it looks cute, if it acts cute, if it sounds cute, it's cute! The flesh beasts calling themselves Koji, Omi, and Yo came to pick me up. Though they had come to see me so many times during my stay, it never got easier to see my friends change so horribly. My sudden tears of despair drew suspicion, but I managed to explain them away as tears of joy. I can't imagine my friends turning into flesh monsters. I mean, not that I have friends, but that'd be like my Fumos turning into flesh monsters. That would be horrifying. While we walked to Koji's car, I looked desperately for Saya amid the grotesque scenery. Even as we drove away, I kept watching the hospital fade into the distance, praying for a last glimmer of hope. But Saya never appeared. After Koji and the others dropped me off, I paused a while to regard my surroundings. I'd lived my entire life on this block, in this house. There was no other place I could call home, but nothing was as I remembered. As I walked up the path to the front door and took in the yard where I had spent my childhood, I could feel those memories being defiled by the twisted, festering shapes around me. Inside the house, I found nothing familiar, nothing to offer me comfort and warmth. What I had once called home was now a whole nother world. I have no home, I whispered with a smile of self-pity. There was one last stop to make. One last nail to hammer into my coffin. I stepped into the room that had cradled me from childhood. The walls were papered with human entrails, the bed a tangled mess of warm flesh. But none of that mattered. Saya! There, curled up on a bed like an abandoned cat, was Saya. As I stood there in shock, she looked up at me and in a tiny, weak voice said, "So cute! I want one." I responded by sweeping her into my arms, embracing her tightly so that she would not escape. Saya did not resist. When she arrives at the Sakisaka house, Omi first takes a deep breath to calm herself. Her anger does not vanish entirely, of course, but at least now she can hear herself think. While waiting for her response from the intercom, she looks over the patch of yard that she can see from outside the gate. Even Omi isn't normally one to complain about other people's housekeeping, but this is going too far. The grass is growing wild, and there are piles of dead leaves scattered everywhere. It doesn't just look untended, it looks like an uninhabited ruin. It's still light out. I mean, I think he liked Berkeley. I think that was part of his inspiration. I don't remember that much though. I haven't read in a while. It's still light out, but every window has its storm shutters tightly sealed. Omi guesses that they've been closed since morning. What kind of life is Fuminori leading? Even if he's living alone, he can't neglect his housework forever. I neglect my housework. My yard looks like that. There's still no response, so she presses the buzzer a second time, and a third, and a fourth. Finally, after this has gone on for over 10 minutes, Omi loses her patience and opens the cover of the intercom. As she expected, the power has been disconnected. Perhaps Fuminori has a good reason for shutting out the world. But Omi can only see it as a lack of respect for others. Her anger rekindled, she pushes the gate open and stomps through the yard to the front door. Given the state of his intercom, she doubts that Fuminori will respond to a knock, so Omi decides to just open the door and go in shouting, and if the door is locked, she'll just have to. Surprisingly, the doorknob turns easily in her hand, and the enraged Omi finds herself throwing the door open wider than she intended. Her nostrils were insanely assaulted by a choking stench.
Nani?
As Omi stands petrified on the threshold, the cowbell hanging on the inside of the door chimes loudly. A moment later, That's Saya's real voice. She's cute either way. Omi can't believe her ears. The voice she just heard could not have been human, yet its intonations were too complex for any animal she could imagine. She calls out to the end of the hallway from which the voice came. There is no response. Instead, she hears the sound of something soft and wet flopping its way deeper into the house. Now, chat, if you saw this, would you go deeper into the house? Finding it difficult to place a meaningful image to the voice she just heard. Omi stares blankly at the empty festival. There's nothing there, not even Fuminori's shoes, which can only mean that he's still outside somewhere wearing them. Clearly, if this happens to you, you should run away. The house should be empty. But then what was that voice just now? Soft and wet. Her anger is vanished as if it were never there. Nevertheless, Omi sets foot into the hallway, leaving the door open so that the cowbell won't ring. The floor creaks, setting her nerves on edge. Omi isn't sure why she's acting like a burglar, but something tells her to make as little noise as possible. Y'all are making me want to read more books. The potency of the stink inside the house makes the whiff she caught outside pale in comparison. It's sickening, like rotten fish guts. Has food been left to spoil in the kitchen? She hears a bubbling sound up ahead. Stepping gingerly on the creaking floorboards, Omi makes her way to the end of the hallway. She finds rooms to both sides of her, one lit, the other dark, and chooses to look inside the lit room. It's the kitchen, lit by what must be the only window in the house not covered by a storm shutter. The sound she heard was the pot boiling on the stove, and on the chopping board next to it lie a butcher's knife and some half-diced carrots. A perfectly normal household scene with the light of the setting sun making everything the color of decomposing fruit. I think I read part of it once, but it would have been a while ago. I haven't read anything in like quite a while. Lately I've just been reading like VNs and sometimes light novels. I don't read any actual books these days. Saya's cute though! Something is wrong. Who is cooking here and where did they go? Omi calls, regretting it immediately as she realizes that her voice is shaking. As her words echo vainly through the silent house, she begins to feel foolish and defenseless. Suddenly, she feels something cold seeping through her pantyhose. She timidly reaches down to touch her feet. Her fingertips covered with a viscous olive green slime, like the filthy water from a tank long clogged with algae and dead fish. The whole floor is covered with it. It must be the source of the stench. Omi now wishes that she had worn her shoes inside. Manners be damned. When she looks back ruefully the way she came, she realizes that her current position is not visible from the entrance. This kitchen must be where that strange voice came from. The next room is probably the den. As she expected from the closed storm shutters, it's pitch black inside. Omi wants nothing more than to flee this house, but that would mean turning her back to the darkness, and that she cannot simply bring herself to do. She really should just get out of there. Moved by some irrational compulsion, Omi sets foot into the den. It's too dark to see anything, and the stink is far worse than before. She slides her hand along the wall, feeling for the light switch. Finding it much sooner than she expected, she flips it on like her last hope. The colors. Are they really that bad? Are you telling me? Are you guys, like, would you guys paint your room like this? The colors. So many colors! The purple of entrails, the brown of rotted meat, the crimson of flesh, blood, the yellow of fat. These colors and more that cannot be described cover every inch of the room in maddening array. The colors say all that needs to be said about the painter's hatred, malice, and insanity. Olmi's legs give out from the shock, sending her to the floor. Slime immediately soaks through her jeans. Its cold tendrils creeping up her legs, crotch, and, and her neck. Her hand flies to her neck, where it's greeted by another drop of chilly slime. Above her, something is dripping down on her head. Making perhaps the worst decision of her life, Omi looks up. The worst decision of her life was stepping foot in that house. Even after she heard Saya. The predator clinging to the ceiling, poised to leap upon its prey. She sees it in every detail. Her mouth and nose are sealed before she can scream. Her belly is torn open as something enters to feast on her innards. Guys, is Saya technically a tentacle monster? It's like, it's very female coded. But by the time she feels any of this, Omi has already gone mad. I bit the bullet and tried to take the train, but the rush hour crowds were so bad that I had to get off get off halfway and walk. I'm illiterate. Can't read. I'm running pretty late. Is Saya worried? I hope she's not mad. When I enter the yard, I realize that the front door has been left wide open. Light from the living room is seeping out into the hallway, and I hear what sounds like someone smacking their lips. There's also a tantalizing fragrance in the air. Is it Saya? I consider calling out to her, but decide to enter in silence instead. Something smells strange, though not unpleasant. The aroma is quite soothing, in fact. It reminds me of Saya's hair. Saya's just a silly girl, you know. You can't blame her. At first, I'm surprised by what I see in the living room. The floor is covered by what looks to be some kind of grass, probably the source of the herb-like smell, and there are fruit or vegetable-like balls of varying size scattered everywhere. Saya. Saya turns around, her eyes wide with surprise. She then looks away sheepishly, like a child caught at some prank. So flustered that I suddenly feel bad for sneaking up on her. Remembering that she's never eaten in front of me before, I realize that she must be quite embarrassed. It doesn't even look like grass! It looks like slime! It doesn't look like fruit or vegetables either. I scoop up the closest fruit thing and pop it into my mouth, ignoring Saya's attempt to wave me off. It has a strange texture, soft and pliable. I love how there's sound effects to this scene. Like a peach or a pear. When I bite into it with my back teeth, a succulent juice fills my mouth. Combined with a sharp, strong fragrance, it's unlike anything I've ever tasted. I pick up a different lump, this one consisting of fruity flesh around a hard core. Tearing a chunk off in my mouth, I find that it has a similar taste to the last one. Even Saya looks disgusted. At first, Saya looks dumbstruck, but then she bursts out laughing. See, she's so sweet and caring. She goes through all of that trouble to find something that's enjoyable for Fuminoid to eat. Saya's a very good girl.
こんな大物は久しぶりだけどね。近所の公園とかで撮ってくれる？
There's an impressive nature preserve not too far from here. I've never heard about fruits like these growing there. But, well, of course, they only look like fruits to me. They're really something else.
ごめんね。一番美味しいところはさっきさやが全部食べちゃった。
いいよ、まだ今度だ。でも
We don't ever get to see how Saya truly looks. I think the implication is that she looks like the creepy flesh monsters that we see walking around outside. Saya seems really happy. I'm happy too, of course. Eating with someone is much more fun than eating alone, and it makes the food taste better too.
まだまだいっぱいあるし、食べきれない分は冷やせば2、3日は大丈夫だよ。ちょっと味は落ちるんだけどね。
Chat, would you still love Saya if she was an eldritch horror monster thing?
じゃあ、早めに片付けておこうか。
Sealing the small fruits in Tupperware and the large ones in pots and bowls, Saya and I store the remaining food in the refrigerator. Thinking of tomorrow's dinner fills me with anticipation. I feel that little by little I'm starting to regain the joy of living. Saya will guide me. With her I can live on. True scary stories. Hospital edition. Chapter 4. The Monster in the Hospital. A medical student relates shocking experiences. Will you believe him or not? Strange things started happening at the hospital around the end of last spring. This is a spooky story. I should grab a spooky story torch and dim the lights. It began with patients waking up in the middle of the night screaming. They all spoke of terrifying nightmares, and many of them had to be sedated. Some patients even transferred to other hospitals because of it. The weird thing is that they'd all had exactly the same dream. A dream about some horribly disgusting monster staring them down from their bedside. Saya's not a horribly disgusting monster. Saya's a very cute monster. But the really strange stuff started happening after that. There used to be a lot of stray cats around campus, looking for scraps for students. One day, the cat suddenly disappeared. Ah! She eats me! Ah! Scary. I mean, I guess she seems to like eat all mammals. But whatever, onward, onward. And it wasn't that they'd stopped coming. It was more like they vanished from the area entirely. And then people stopped walking their dogs around. According to rumors, the dogs were refusing to go anywhere near the school. Eventually, things started going missing in the hospital. Organs, to be precise. Transplant organs kept disappearing from storage. People came close to losing their jobs over it. And it wasn't just 2 or 3 times that happened. They tried to keep it from students, but we heard that it was a lot worse than that. Patients experienced seeing a disturbing monster. According to witness testimony, this monster seems to be known as a woman. Terrifying! 3D women. I would not want to see one. People started saying that there was something living in the hospital. The janitors would find strange messes that could only be made in the middle of the night. Traces that something had crawled down the hallway, or weird stains caused by something dripping through the ceiling. The late night shift nurses talked about hearing strange noises on the same nights that patients woke up screaming. There's one last story, one that you can never mention inside the hospital. One day. One day the obstetrics department went crazy. They said that a newborn had disappeared during the night. If that were true, the police would have come and made it all over the news. But they say the big shots managed to make it go all away. It's just a rumor, of course. These strange incidents suddenly stopped towards the end of summer. Now there are almost no patients complaining about nightmares, and cats have started coming back to campus. But still, what happened in the hospital that summer? Even now, just thinking about it gives me the creeps. I'll tell you what happened. There was a cute girl living in the hospital.
おかけになった電話は電波の届かない場所にあるか電源が入っていないためかかりません。
This is the third day in a row that they haven't been able to get in touch with Omi. Oh, I want to see Saya! There's no sign that she returned to her apartment, and even her family doesn't know anything. Her parents have already filed a missing persons report.
まあ、あいつのことだからな。何事もなかったみたいに、ひょっこり顔出しそうな気もするんだが。
だといいけど。
Yol replies with a gloomy expression. She's worried about Omi, of course, but the incident with Fuminori 3 days ago must still be weighing on her as well. Yol hasn't seen Fuminori since then, and Fuminori hasn't made any effort to approach her or Koji. 4 people used to meet in this cafeteria between classes, and now there are only 2.
ねえ、トノくん、もう一度考えてみようよ。
いや、一通りは確かめたし。
It's a lie, of course. Koji knows where Omi planned to go that evening, but he doesn't want to bring Fuminori up in front of Yol. Their awkward silence is mercifully broken by the bell signaling the start of the next period.
じゃあ、俺。
Unless Koji is mistaken, Yol is supposed to have class next period too, but she just sits there staring off into space. Unable to come up with anything to say, he leaves the cafeteria reluctantly. Both Omi's disappearance and Yola's depression worry Koji, and both problems lead back to the exact same place.
みのりは一体。
When Omi went missing, the first thing he did was question Fuminori. After all, the last time he'd seen her was just before she stormed off to give Fuminori a piece of her mind. Fuminori responded with unequivocal denial and acted like he hadn't the slightest idea why Omi would have gone to see him. Perhaps that was only natural, as he was unaware that Omi and Koji had witnessed him reduce Yola to tears. Yeah. Would you still love Saya if she was a horrible monster? Clearly, Fuminori would still not love his friends if they were worms. Did Omi even make it to Fuminori's house? She'd been riding a wave of emotion when she'd left. She might have calmed down and changed her mind halfway there. Or perhaps she ran into trouble on the way. Koji concluded, or more accurately, convinced himself, that one of these possibilities was the truth, subconsciously denying the remaining possibility that Fuminori was lying and that he had met Omi and was involved with her disappearance. I feel like there's another possibility here. When questioned by the police, Koji told the truth about Omi's destination only up to the train station, maintaining that he had no idea where she planned to go after that. He wanted to cooperate with the search, of course, but Omi couldn't have made it to Fuminori's house. Fuminori said so himself, didn't he? In that case, he told the police everything that they needed to know. Not wanting to get the still fragile Fuminori involved, he forced himself to accept this flimsy logic. But conflict had built up inside him without his notice, leaving the unanswered suspicion to fester in his mind. Koji is deep in thought, paying no attention to his surroundings, but perhaps this is what allows him to catch sight of his friend's back through the crowd of milling students. And does he have the face too? It's on the black background. What's that? Sucker for love? Hang on. I'll check what that is. I ended up back on the Nintendo Direct. Hang on. Isn't that like some weird furry thing? I mean, I guess they're like Lovecraftian horrors, but furries! They're not cute girls. They're not cute enough. Saya's cuter. Saya's way cuter. Saya mogs them any day. At first, Koji assumes that he's heading to the lecture hall, but it soon appears that he is instead going home. Would you still love Saya if she wasn't a cute lolly? Strange, medical students have required courses in the afternoon. Though he is initially surprised, Koji's hesitation lasts only for a second. He follows his friend, taking care to stay far enough behind that he won't be noticed. Cthulhu... It's not a Cthulhu that looks as cute as Saya, so... no, I haven't played Nekopara. Fuminari wasn't going home, as became obvious when he boarded a train heading in the opposite direction. Koji's next guess was that he was going to see his doctor at the T-University Hospital, but Fuminari rode straight through the closest station. At first, Koji felt ashamed for tailing his friend like this, but his conscience fell silent as Fuminari's actions grew more mysterious. The stranger gets the closer Koji feels to discovering truth behind Fuminari's sudden transformation. Any knowledge would be welcome, no matter how slight. Would you still love Saya if she was an eggless hag? Even Koji is beginning to think that there must be more behind Fuminari's change than the accident alone. No, there really isn't. He wants a more satisfying answer, one that will help him decide whether Fuminari can still be trusted. I didn't lose track of my sentence there, not at all. Fuminari gets off at a small station in a nondescript suburb of Tokyo. Koji follows, trying not to lose sight of him amid the other disembarking passengers. The area is quite desolate, with only a small bookstore, a convenience store, and a market in front of the train station. It's easy for Koji to keep Fuminari in view. This neighborhood was carved out of the Fuji foothills. Here and there remain steep inclines and wooded areas that escaped assimilation. Koji is amazed that such a quiet place exists less than an hour out of Tokyo. VR is so expensive, though. And I don't really get the appeal. I'd rather play stuff on, like, a monitor. I thought it was really cool when the VR stuff was, like, new, but it's just kind of boring these days. Fuminari seems to know these streets. He moves quickly and purposefully through the suburban community, his eyes fixed straight ahead. Before long, Fuminari reaches a house. Without ringing the bell or even knocking, he opens the door and vanishes inside, leaving Koji to wonder how Fuminari can treat the house as his own. What's Phantom of Inferno? Hang on. Phantom of Inferno. Oh, it's like kind of old. Wait, come on. Come to think of it, basically everything is kind of. Is it like safe to show on like stream? If it's safe to show on stream, then I might play more VNs. Before long, Fuminari reaches a house. Without ringing the bell or even knocking, he opens the door and vanishes inside, leaving Koji to wonder how Fuminari can treat that. Oh wait, I just said that, didn't I? After waiting to see if Fuminari comes back out, Koji approaches the gate and checks the nameplate. Olgai, it reads. Koji has never heard of anyone by that name among Fuminari's acquaintances. Next, his attention is drawn to the thick wad of leaflets sticking out of the mail slot. This, coupled with the general dilapidated feel of the place, suggests that it's been abandoned for some time. What's Snoot game? Hang on. What is a Snoot game? They're not cute! They're not cute enough. I can't play games without cute girls. A small playground about 2 blocks away provides an adequate vantage point from which to watch the front of the Olgai home. Fortunately, it does not appear to be the sort of house that has a rear exit. Koji settles down on a bench to begin his stakeout. I should have brought more smokes. Maybe. Maybe I'll play more VMs. 1 hour passes, and then another, but there remains no sign of movement around the Ogai residence. Soon twilight settles upon the neighborhood. After Koji's 1 pack of cigarettes runs out, the stakeout becomes a battle against mounting impatience. He kills time by redialing Omi on his cell and sending her short text messages. But his efforts are futile, as he knew they would be. Oh, I kind of want to play Katawa Shoujo on stream. How long is it, though? I haven't played it before. When the sky begins to turn deep blue and the streetlights come on, Fuminori finally manages to emerge from the house and heads back toward the station with the same hurried stride. You know, I was playing like Tsukihime Plus Disc one time, and then the minute someone comes into the room, right, and then an H scene comes on. And thankfully they didn't look in the right direction and weren't paying close enough attention to what I was doing. But like it was on like a big TV, and then my mom walked in. After some brief consideration, Koji decides that right now, investigating the house is more important than tailing Fuminori. The girl I found like... After some brief consideration, Koji decides that right now, investigating the house is more important than tailing Fuminori. He rings the doorbell just to make sure. After receiving the expected silence in response, he checks to make sure that nobody's watching and turns on the doorknob. The door is not locked. The moment he enters the house, stale air thick with mold and dust fills Koji's nostrils. It's the unmistakable smell of a house that has long lain untouched. There's a faint hint of something else in the air, something reminiscent of damp sewers and fetid cisterns. Flipping the light switch does nothing. The power must be cut off. Koji uses a cigarette lighter to illuminate the immediate area. In the thick dust covering the floor, he sees several brand new trails of footprints that could only have been made by shoes. Fuminori's. Koji decides to follow suit and dispense with courtesy. He enters with his shoes on. Saya deserves it. Saya deserves plenty of food. The lighter's flickering flame pushes back the deathly silence and gloom of the house. Koji is surprised to see evidence of life remaining. Everything from furniture to tableware and appliances, nothing seems to be missing. The thickness of the dust suggests that the house has been empty for several months, which means the owner must have left with little more than the clothes on his back. I wonder what happened to him. Could he have gone on a long vacation? And the calendar in the den is still turned to April, empty and silent, yet exhibiting signs of life that was once lived there. The house reminds me, Koji, of a passenger ship entombed at the bottom of the sea. In the graveyard-like quiet, a sinister thought suddenly enters his mind. No one is living here, but that doesn't have to mean that the owner left. I mean, Saya's probably much bigger than her lolly self, so I doubt she'd get fat. I think she implies that somewhere in the story, that she's much bigger than she looks. Maybe he was murdered, and this rotting corpse is right under Koji's feet. He finds himself wanting a stronger light. A flashlight in his hand would make him feel much better. And Koji follows Fuminori's footsteps to the second floor, where he begins to catch the scent of paper in the stale air. It's the smell of old books, instantly recognizable to anyone who's worked in an antique bookstore or a library. The first room on the second floor turns out to be a study. Its towering shelves packed with such a vast number of books that Koji fears for the stability of the floor. As a medical student himself, he's able to discern at a glance that the study belongs to a medical professional and a high-level one at that. Judging by the content of the books, a smorgasbord of technical volumes far beyond a simple student's understanding, the owner's interests lie more with medical research than clinical practice. Fuminori must have spent most of his time here. The scattered dust suggests that he was searching for something, and the contents of the desk drawers are in obvious disarray. If I want to, like, cover it in 2 streams, whereabouts should I stop off? A small pile of books stacked on the side table catches his eye. Being next to the desk, they must have been the most frequently read. Their nature could shed some light on the character of the person who worked here. Because, like, at any given time, I don't think I can stream more than 4 hours max. Koji frowns as he examines the 3 books. These aren't scientific texts like the rest, but old, leather-bound Western tomes, like the ones you'd find in a rare bookstore. The titles are meaningless to him. I'm not even gonna say those. And then there's the Voynich manuscript, which looks like some sort of picture book. When he pages through it, he finds the text utterly incomprehensible. Perhaps it's some kind of cipher. Whatever they are, they clearly have nothing to do with medicine. Refuting Koji's earlier guess that this old guy is a doctor. I'm not gonna do a 12-hour stream anytime soon. I only have 4 hours at any given time. Looking down, Koji suddenly notices the glint of something black and metallic underneath his chair. A pocket-sized flashlight, quite out of place among all these dusty books. Fuminori must have brought it in. With relief, Koji exchanges his lighter for the flashlight. Its tiny body emits a powerful white beam that casts away the darkness. His courage restored, he decides to explore the rest of the house. Koji notices something strange, something that was not visible in the lighter's weak flame. The slime. Dark, oily stains are everywhere. The stains are especially thick around the doorknobs and stair banisters, like someone grasped them with hands wrapped in greasy cloth. Looking closer, he sees places where slime was splashed low on the walls, almost as if a wet mop was run violently across the floor. Could Olgai have made these marks? If so, how? Koji begins to feel sick as he imagines a man shambling through the house with slime dripping from his body. Finding the bedroom next to the study, Koji checks the closet on a hunch. He discovers 2 empty suitcases, not one that one would leave behind when going on a long vacation. A sudden chill runs through him. Whoever was living here is still somewhere inside the house. Suppressing the urge to flee, Koji goes back downstairs to check the first floor. If he finds a corpse, he'll have to call the police right away. He might get away with trespassing if he reports it first, but if they find the body later, it'll be awfully hard to explain his fingerprints all over the house. Yeah, I was exactly thinking that. Where do you find that? I feel like you guys always have so many books, so many random books that I can't find them anywhere. I'm not very well read, despite my random knowledge on Mussolini. The flashlight reveals the den to be covered in even more slime than the rest of the house. The sofa looks as if it was dredged from the bottom of a swamp. In the kitchen, Koji takes one look at the sink and decides not to get any closer. He doesn't want any more fuel for his imagination. He reaches the door to the bathroom. A common scene from TV dramas flashes through his head. A body with slit wrists floating in a bathtub full of water. And there wasn't a movie where a hitman disposes of a victim with a bathtub full of lye. Tons of movies. Death scenes in bathroom. People die in bathrooms constantly. Koji braces himself for the worst and opens the door slowly, then shines his light into the ceramic bathtub that appears from the darkness like a white ghost. Exactly. I'm illiterate, and so I know stuff about Mussolini from personal experience. Bones. A mountain of bones, black with dry flesh and blood. Koji puts one hand against the wall to steady himself as his legs threaten to buckle. something is wrong. He realizes as he tries desperately to get his thoughts in order. The bones are too small, and there are too many of them. They aren't human. After taking several deep breaths to calm himself, Koji enters the bathroom and examines the tub. The bones are piled atop each other like fallen leaves. They appear to be from small animals, perhaps cats or dogs. Oh wait, what? What are my bones doing in the bathroom? Oh, I want to be killed by Saya. I want to love Saya. Then again, maybe I'd die for Saya. Even so, the quantity is mind-boggling. How many bodies would it take to produce this many bones? The bones have all been separated from one another, so it doesn't look like bodies were just thrown in the tub and left to rot. Each bone is covered with deep grooves, marks left by teeth biting through flesh. Saya's Haitian. Koji's sanity won't let him consider the possibility that a human could have done this. I don't want to die for Israel. I want to die for Saya. The owner of this house must have kept some sort of carnivorous animal as a pet, giving it the bones of small animals to eat and disposing of the remains in the bathtub. Saya's black. They could have just been thrown out with the garbage. Or was there something keeping him from leaving the house? The relief Koji felt when he realized the bones were human is once again under attack. In the first place, what the heck was Fuminori doing here?
どうした、コージ?
Koji whirls around, his light revealing Fuminori's expressionless face.
不法侵入だぞ。
お前だって同
New
じだろ。
Zealand. Koji replies, barely managing to speak over the pounding of his heart. Fuminori pushes past Koji and looks in the bathtub. He doesn't even flinch at the sight of bones.
僕はこの家の人と知り合いなんだ。
知り合いって、いつから？一体何者なんだ？
Koji doesn't want to believe that the old friendly Fuminori could have had contact with the denizens of this house.
いずれお前にも紹介するよ。
Ah, in
僕の
Italian.
恩人とも言える人だから。
You wish you could have met Professor Gregor? I'll introduce. Yeah.
おい、文則。
I want to meet Saya. Koji runs after Fuminori. His heart is finally beating normal again.
お前まさか
Saya being...
近頃様子がおかしいのは
Yeah, this would be so much
その
creepier if
知り合い
Saya
っていう
wasn't
や
a
つの
cute
せいなんだ。
girl. Standing in the entrance, Fuminori glares coldly at Koji over his shoulder. The utter lack of emotion in his eyes gives Koji pause.
僕の後をつけてきたんだね。そういうのは迷惑だ。二度とやらないでもらいたい。
Yeah, we're playing a horror game. Is it really a horror game when Saya is so cute? I don't find Saya horrifying. Saya is a comforting thought. Saya is so cute. Fuminori walks away without another word, leaving Koji alone in the entrance. Up until this very moment, concern for his friend was still at the forefront of his mind. Now, however, that concern is swiftly giving way to a growing sense of dread. Chat, are we ever gonna be monetized, or even if we get to the right statistics, is YouTube gonna take one look at these videos and go, no? Does Fuminori know? Does the Fuminori he knew no longer exist? Was the person who just stared Koji down an imposter wearing Fuminori's skin? Koji has begun to believe that it might be so. What a nuisance! Why does he insist on interfering? If only he spoke with me and to exchange pleasantries. Even if I could bear it, but now he's sticking his nose into my business just to satisfy his curiosity. Koji is a perfect example of someone who thinks it's always good to take an interest in other people's affairs. He probably thinks that he's doing me a favor by prying into my life. He couldn't be more wrong. If he keeps this up, I might have to find some way to deal with him. Like Saya said, I have to keep my search for old guys a secret. Koji could ruin everything. I didn't have time to fully investigate the old guy residence today. At this rate, it'll probably take several days just to go through this step. Saya didn't believe that I'd find anything to help with the search, but I still think there's a lot to explore. Who knows what I'll discover. The problem is Koji. He knows about the house now. Will he make things difficult? A hair-raising voice calls as I'm about to pass through my gate. Suppressing a shudder, I put on a fake smile and turn to face the writhing mass of rotten flesh that's staring at me with bulging eyes. And if you had to deal with these things every day, I think I'd be a pretty awful person too. Yeah, I know, right? Of course, this is my next-door neighbor, Suzumi. A middle-aged painter, I think, who spends all his day at home while his wife works. I haven't had much contact with him since the accident. Why is he suddenly talking to me now? What is this? Did he stop me just to give me a lecture? He has a Saya! He doesn't need anything else. Yeah, exactly. I feel like he'd get desensitized pretty quickly. But maybe it's just that gross. Now I get it. He's worried that the unsightliness of my house might diminish the image of his home. Damn snob. I flash a token smile and then retreat behind the safety of my gate. I can feel Suzumi's eyes boring into my back all the way to the front door. Why won't everyone stay out of my life? I just want to live together with Saya, alone, where no one will ever bother us. And he could do that if he wanted. He'd just have to stop going outside, which he doesn't do, for whatever reason. I know, right? I know your family died and you went insane, but you should mow your lawn, kid. Like, seriously, who says that? I feel like it's genuine concern, but, like, still. Suzumi Yosuke sighs in annoyance as he watches the neighbor boy retreat into his house. What's with his attitude? Even while talking, he kept his eyes averted, as if to avoid looking at something repulsive. Has he always been such an unpleasant young man? No, of course not. When his parents were still alive, he had been a normal youth. A little shy, but sensitive and caring. Sensitive young man! It must be the stress of his sad situation. If it continues to build, he might start to develop serious mental problems. I think it might be a bit too late for that. Or is it too late already? Yosuke wonders as he gazes wearily at the Sakisaka yard. Yes. Even during dinner, Yosuke can't shake the neighboring house from his mind.
どうしたのあなた難しそうな顔して
今日ね
お隣のって
ああ庭のこと一言言っておいた
そうよねせめてあの匂いだけはどうにかしてもらいたいわよね
The stink coming from the Sakisaka house grows worse every day, and the Suzumi family is at its wits' end.
あの草むらの中に死んだ猫でもいるんじゃないかしら
まさかとは思うが、生ゴミをそのまま庭に捨てているんじゃあるまいな。
To be fair, this guy is a bit questionable in his own right.
そんな、いくらなんでもそこまで。
いや、今の様子だとやりかねん。一日中ずっと雨戸を閉め切って何をやってるのかもわからない。どう？
お兄ちゃん、頭おかしくなっちゃ
Honestly,
った
the boomer's worse though.
これ、ヒロミ。
The boomer has no right to criticize Fuminari.
いや、あれは本当にちょっとどうすぎてる。
大丈夫なのそれ。
早く自覚して医者にでも行ってもらわんことに。
Yeah, he is sort of Shed Jackie. Seconds crawl by, each tick of the clock compounding my agony. When I returned from the Olgai residence, I was greeted by a silent, empty home. Saya had vanished without leaving any clue as to her whereabouts. It isn't rare for her to go for walks at night. I've often gone with her. However, such outings... Maybe that's why I can't go outside. The Sayas are out there. The kangaroos are way worse than Saya. However, such outings always take place in the middle of the night when no one's around and never last for more than 2 hours. Right now, it's 5 in the morning. Soon, the sky will begin to show the first light of dawn. Even if she left right before I returned, she's still been gone for more than half a day. I think it's paint, because they went to the hardware store and bought paint or something. Because they say that he bought a bunch of paint. But I also think it wouldn't make much sense, so I don't know if it's painted with... yeah, I think it's painted with actual paint. I can't sleep. I can only wait in anguish. Because it was like painted before he ate Omi or whatever. Or maybe it was the whole... I can't remember which is which. I tried to distract myself by painting more rooms, but I couldn't concentrate on the work. If I had known this would happen, I would have left the Olgai house sooner. I wish I hadn't wasted time on Koji. Eldritch girlfriend took you to the Femcel Cthulhu room. If Saya doesn't return, the thought makes me want to tear out my hair. After its long absence, the terror of true loneliness is too much to bear. Yeah, I think it's just pain.
Tadaima!
Ah, Saya! At last, the cowbell chimes, and Saya's long-awaited "I'm home" rings out from the bottom of the stairs. As I jump out of my bed in relief, all of the stress that's built up through the night is released in a wave that threatens to sweep me off my feet. She's so cute! Saya sighs as she climbs the stairs.
Saya, 一体どこに?
Well, there's a Vola, if you can call him that. My question trails off as I notice the thick bundles of paper that she's been carrying under her arms.
それは?
Fuminoriのカルテとか手術の記録。
I love her so much.
今日は古巣の病院に行ってきたの。
What's YouTube censoring this time? He's a super fascist. Saya drops her bundles on the floor, sending papers flying everywhere, and then pulls her favorite cushion over and collapses into it, stretching luxuriously.
こんな夜中に T 台から歩いて戻ってきたのか。
ごめんね。本当はもっと早く帰れると思ってたんだけど、調べ出したらキリがなくて。結局全部持ち出してきちゃった。
Literally, that was crazy. But they really did differentiate and call super fascism its own ideology just because he didn't believe in anything fascist. Just because he was so far from fascism. Even if he was calling himself a super fascist, that, I mean, it's real. And so now super fascism is legally distinct from fascism. Maybe it's just the exhaustion, but I'm not understanding a word Saya is saying.
そんなもの持ってきてどうするつもりなんだ。
どうするって、もちろん調べるのよ。うちで時間かけてじっくり。あ
At first, I think she's just playing around, but the occasional mutters of
これは要チェックかな。あとは
and the like as she separates photos into a growing pile beside her make me think that this might not be a joke after all. Yeah, I didn't see the direct. Yeah, it was just further than that. So. But I think it was stupid. I don't like it.
パパにいろいろと教わったから。なるほどね。そういうこと。これじゃあいつまで経っても直せないよね。
So true. Saya would be with us.
直せないのか。
人間のお医者さんじゃね。
So cute. I can't tell if she's being serious.
私でもまだちょっと難しいかな。いろいろと試して。
I wonder if Saya's trying to hide the fact that she's a monster or not. She seems kind of open about it, but I don't think Fuminori is realizing it. Watching more closely, I realized that her eyes are scanning each page rapidly. So rapidly, in fact, that I was unable to notice it at first. Could Saya actually be reading my charts?
なあ、さや。今日はもう疲れたし、寝ないか。
ふみのりがそうしたいならそうする。
Saya tosses aside the papers she was sorting, then leaps on me and begins to tear off my clothes.
おい。
いいでしょ。
まあ、さや。こう毎日続けてじゃ体に毒じゃないのか。
Yeah, yeah.
どうか具合が悪いの？
いや、僕は別にちゃんと大人の体に
I don't think this is gonna turn into anything that can't be shown on stream, but... She laughs. I'm not sure if I can read this out. She laughs playfully as she pushes me on the bed. The familiar sweet sensation of her weight and skin rendering me helpless.
平気なわけないだろ。今まで信用してないっての。
ふみのりはさ、さやに子供を産ませるの。
Would you give Saya children chat? How can I respond to that?
いやも何も。さやみたいに小さい体じゃ無理だって。母体の負担ってのは大変なんだぞ。
See, Saya's probably not that small. She's probably bigger.
ふみのりが心配してることって割と的外れなんだけど。
That would be horrifying. Saya seems unsure how to reply, but not because she doesn't understand what I said. Rather, the bemused look on her face makes it seem as though I'm the one not getting it.
でもそれってふみのりがさやのことを大事に思ってくれてるからなんだよね。
Flesh monster kid. By the time I break the spell of her angelic smile. Angelic smile. I can't say that. I don't think he is very explicit. By the time I break the spell of her angelic smile, Saya has undone my spell and is removing my pants.
なおい、だから さや。
大丈夫。じゃあ今夜はみのりが心配しないような方法でしてあげる。
As she finishes, she looks up at me, smiling like she had just pulled the greatest prank of her life.
これだったらみのりだって心配ないでしょ。
The horn game.
いや、まあ。
What am I supposed to say to that?
ねえ、ダメだった？こういうのだと気持ちよくない？
Hearing the sudden nervousness in Saya's voice, I hastily stammer.
そんなことない。十分に。でもさや、何もあんなもの飲み込まなくたって。
そんな。あれはさやにちょうだいよ。
Suddenly distraught, Saya clings to me like a child who's just had her candy stolen.
みのりの一滴だけ残してほしい。さやの中に出してほしいの。
中身って。
So Saya really does want to bear my child. I'm not averse to the idea. I still think it might be too early, of course. But there isn't much point in worrying about my reputation now. Assuming that Saya and I will be left alone, I even welcome it.
みのりは嫌？
YouTube, don't ban us, please. Bye. She gazes up at me pleadingly. How can I resist?
嫌なんかじゃないさ。さやさえそれでいいのなら、僕だって。
Saya smiles with relief and burrows contentedly into my chest.
大好き。
With her body draped over mine, I become even more aware of how light and delicate she is. Can this tiny girl and I really live as husband and wife? I feel a pang of self-loathing at the question. How could I still be afraid after all that's happened? Saya's feelings are so earnest. How can I not accept them? So true. I need to resolve once and for all to rid myself of the useless trappings of morality. Saya and I are all that matters. There's no point in worrying about what others think anymore. Although I suppose I should still talk to Saya's guardian, of course. I need to find Dr. Ogai as soon as possible. And by the time I drift to sleep in exhaustion's comforting embrace, all the doubts about Saya's actions have vanished from my mind. Whatever the case, all that matters is she's returned to me. Okay, we might end it here at this scene. How do I save? I'm just gonna... how do I save? Saving seems real complicated. I guess quick save. We'll probably be able to come back to it. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. That's enough cunny rape today. Good night, everybody. That's a good end point. Thank you guys for watching. Wait. Hang on. Check Twitter. Yeah, I hope YouTube doesn't get mad at me for doing that. Twitter. wait. I should put that on stream. Hang on. Someone. Wait a sec. We'll react stream to the video. All right. All right. Thank you for linking it. I'll get it up just a sec. It might have the same like echo problems of everything else that's been tried to go on Firefox. But hang on. Okay. Firefox. There. Firefox. We'll watch this now. Not good night yet. We've still got random birthday videos to react to. Okay. This is one of the best songs on that album. We'll watch this now. Not good night yet. We've still got random. Well, yeah, there's just gonna be an echo. We just gotta cope with that when we're on Firefox stuff. Well, I used like my real birthday to like drum up views last stream 2 days ago or something. Because, I mean, I might change the birthday, you know, in general. I might go to the 19th for the actual canon birthday. I might change that to the 19th of March. Because I think that was the day that that fascism... Wait, I hope I don't get copyright claimed for this. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the video, and thank you all for the happy birthdays, and thank you all for coming to the stream. Good night, everybody. Wait, I hope I don't get copyright. Wait, what? More, wait. Oh, right! Yeah, I haven't mentioned Hitler yet. Alright, well, that's Hitler mentioned. Good night, everybody. Bye.